On October 26, 1996, in El Segundo, Los Angeles, California, a bouncy Mckenzie Lueck was born to parents Greg and Diana Lueck. She was the second and only girl out of 4 children. Mckenzie had an older brother and 2 younger brothers. Mckenzie attended the El Segundo High School, where she participated on the swimming and water polo teams. She continued her tertiary education by enrolling at the University of Utah, majoring in pre-nursing and kinesiology. Before doing my research for this case, I didn't know what kinesiology was. So for those of you that don't know, kinesiology is a study of human movements, performance, and functions. In other words, an advanced physical therapist. Salt Lake City, Utah, June 17, 2019. It was in the pre-dawn hours of Monday morning that 23-year-old Mckenzie Lueck, a vibrant University of Utah senior, touched down at the airport. She was returning from her grandmother's funeral in California, a poignant end to a somber trip. But the somberness of the past week was nothing compared to the tragedy that's about to unfold. At the Salt Lake City International Airport, Mckenzie ordered a lift that took her to the Hatch Park in Salt Lake City. The Lyft driver who was interviewed during the investigation said she didn't appear to be in distress. She got to the park at 3 a.m. and got into another man's car. 3 days later, on June 20th, 2019, Mckenzie was reported missing by her father, who lives in California. He hadn't heard from her since she left California for Utah. Mckenzie wasn't returning calls or texts, which wasn't something she did, and also she didn't show up for her midterm exams. Mckenzie was on the dating website seeking arrangements where, quote-unquote, sugar daddies find their, quote-unquote, sugar babies. She had met a man on the dating website in 2018, and this man, who she was in contact with, was Ayoola Ajayi. Although they hadn't been in contact with each other for about a year, they eventually did in 2019, where Mckenzie agreed to meet him at the Hatch Park when she arrived from a trip from California. Same day, on June 20th, when she was reported missing, investigators began the search by looking into Mckenzie's cell phone records. According to cell phone records and information retrieved by detectives, the last person she was in contact with before her cell phone data was shut off at 3 a.m. was Ayoola Ajayi, and that made him the prime suspect for this investigation. Ayoola Ajayi was born in the West African country of Nigeria in 1988. He came to the United States in 2009 with a student's visa to study at the University of Utah. While at the university, he got approached by the members of the Church of the Latter-day Saints, LDS, and got baptized into the church the same year. Ajayi moved to Texas in 2012 and married Tanisha Jenkins. Not sure if it was a genuine marriage or was just a move for him to gain his American citizenship. But the marriage didn't last long, and Ajayi moved back to Utah in 2012, although he was still legally married to Tanisha. He claimed he was an information technology worker with supposed reported work experience in tech support and IT for companies including Dell and briefly in the U.S. National Army Guard, which were all lies, by the way. He self-published a book on Amazon called Forge Identity. Ajayi also explored a career in modeling, which wasn't successful. While in Utah, he got arrested on suspicion of a stolen iPad on campus, which he was caught using to search for women online. The theft of the iPad got him banned from the university. Since he was no more a student at the university, he was caught loitering on campus and was given a warning, and ICE agents were informed. Him not being a student and banned from the university violated the conditions of his student visa. Ayoola was the last person in contact with Mckenzie before her disappearance, so investigators went straight to him. He was invited into the police station and sent straight to the investigation room.
On June 20th, 2019, the Salt Lake City Police Department was notified of a missing person investigation for Mckenzie Lueck. Investigations confirmed that on June 17th, Mckenzie departed a plane at the Salt Lake City Airport at approximately 2 a.m. Mckenzie obtained a ride via transport services to the destination of Hatch Park, located in North Salt Lake City. Mckenzie was dropped off by the transport services at the Hatch Park, where another individual met with her. Mckenzie left the park with this individual at approximately 3 a.m. on June 17th. Investigations were conducted on Mckenzie's phone records, social media, and other communications, which showed that all communications ceased from Mckenzie at 3 a.m. on June 17th. Investigations into Mckenzie's phone showed that the communications and data ceased at the time of June 17th at approximately 3 a.m. Investigation of Mckenzie's phone records show that her last communication were with the arrested person.
Ayoola was trying to prove to detectives he couldn't have committed a crime with the video evidence of his security camera, but rather he showed detectives videos of the day before the disappearance. He claimed from the advice of his lawyers he couldn't show the video from that day. But also he claimed his lawyers told him not to talk to the police, so I guess the only advice he took from his legal counsel was not to show the video that could possibly clear him from a crime he claimed he didn't commit.
I was freaking out and I started logging into everything. I even downloaded the whole security camera, and I was going to bring it here just to prove that I was under the camera the whole time. I was going to bring the whole hard drive of the whole security camera, but my lawyer told me that because you mentioned that the IP and everything, that I should hold back.
Okay.
And she asked me to be careful what I share with you, because she said it doesn't make sense for my IP to be showing.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a security camera in my living room, and when I view it, I was there the whole time that night. And then, just like I just showed you today, my baby mama was with me, and she's pregnant.
Ayoola told investigators he met Mckenzie on a dating site seeking arrangements a year ago, but hadn't been in contact with her for about a year. So on the 16th, he was surprised he got a question mark text from Mckenzie. He said he responded, but didn't get a text back. Then, investigators showed him all the texts Mckenzie received the day of her disappearance came from his IP address. Ayoola is a pretty dumb criminal. To think deleting texts on your phone deletes them from the cell phone company's database is pretty ignorant in today's world. He offered to give permission to investigators to the security company so they can check the surveillance records. This fact is also funny to me. Like they can't just have a court order to get those records themselves.
You're still saying that that's the only text, that's the only messages you got from her, right?
That I can remember. So, but for her to just send me a question mark, so there's a possibility that I've talked to her in the past. So, like, if I show you some of the messages, you will see that some people, I reached out to them like 2 years ago, and then they just randomly just message me. So there's a possibility that if I go back 2 years, I can reach out to my phone plan and then go back to like 2 years ago and that's when I signed up and see.
See all this These dates right here, the 17th, all these dates and times, the 16th when I told you, and when you told me 6/12, all these messages are messaging her phone from your Wi-Fi, from your IP.
Really?
Detectives didn't have much to arrest him then, so he was free to go after the first interrogation. Detectives asked if they could download the contents of his cell phone, but he denied and said he needed to talk to his lawyers first. The next day, he surprisingly brought his phone, and detectives downloaded the content of his cell phone data records. Those records placed him at Hatch Park on the day and time as Mckenzie. With this additional information gathered, detectives were able to get a search warrant for his house. He owned a home in the Fair Park neighborhood of Salt Lake City. He had also rented his basement as an Airbnb with a guest renting it before the murder of Mckenzie. During the search of his home, more evidence were discovered which subsequently got him arrested and taken to the interrogation room for his second interview. In the investigation room, he kept denying he ever met Mckenzie, even after the detectives showed him all the evidence that led to him. A fire pit was found in his backyard and he was asked about it. He claimed he killed goats and sheep sometimes and made soup out of them. That was where he actually had burned and buried Mckenzie's body before moving it again. He was asked about Mckenzie, and he claimed he couldn't harm or kill anyone or anything. Funny enough, he claimed he cried when one of his pet fish died. Detectives asked him about the goats and sheep, and he said, "Those are for food, so that's different."
That your phone records and the location put you up at the meet. Do you think, honestly, and expect me to believe that you ended that conversation and somehow you and her location end up in the exact same spot?
Oh, I'm not doubting you. If I see that too, if I'm in your case, I would be asking myself, what are you asking me right now?
It's not a miraculous question.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Stuff doesn't just happen.
No.
Yes, I agree with you.
I'm telling you to explain that. And so far, you have not.
Well, how do I explain something I don't know?
Are you saying you don't know or you don't remember? Because those are two different things, AJ.
Ayoola was released from the interrogation, but not for long. Investigators found more evidence that proved he was the perpetrator in the disappearance of Mckenzie Lueck. Investigators used the cell phone data received that showed Ayoola in the area of the Jordan River in Salt Lake City at the time of Mckenzie's disappearance. Ayoola, with the help of his lawyer, conveyed to the investigators where he had buried Mckenzie's body. An area of disturbed soil was located, and when that area was excavated, human remains were found. Mckenzie's body, purse, and other materials were found when everything was dug out. DNA conducted on the remains proved that was Mckenzie Lueck. The medical examiners found a small blunt force trauma hole to the left side of her head, and that was determined to be the cause of her death.
During a search warrant on the arrested person's residence and property on June 26th, the arrested person's neighbors informed detectives that they observed him burning something in his backyard with the use of gasoline on the dates of June 17th and June 18th. The search warrant resulted in the findings of a fresh dig area on his property, which is the same area that the arrested person was reported burning something. A forensic excavation of the burn area was conducted, which resulted in the finding of several charred items that were consistent with personal items of Mckenzie Lueck. Other charred material was located, which has now been forensically determined to be female human tissue. A DNA profile of that human tissue was obtained during forensic testing by the Utah State Lab. That DNA profile was compared and is consistent with the DNA profile obtained through further forensic testing of personal items of Mckenzie Lueck.
In October, he admitted that he had planned to murder Mckenzie before they met on June 17, 2019. He said he turned off his surveillance and picked her up from Hatch Park. He confessed that he strangled and beat her, burned her body, and buried her in his backyard. He claimed he only moved the body near the Jordan River area only when he became a suspect. During the investigation, detectives discovered he pleaded guilty to forcible sexual abuse in a separate incident from March of 2018 involving a woman he met on a dating app. The woman came forward after hearing about Mckenzie's case. For that incident, he was charged with aggravated kidnapping and 3 counts of sexual assault. As if things weren't bad enough, investigators found numerous pictures of children in very bad compromising scenes on his computer. The children were supposedly to have been between 4 and 8 years old. On October 7, 2020, he pleaded guilty to first-degree aggravated murder and desecration of a human body in connection with Lueck's death. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 5 years. Subsequently, he also pleaded guilty to second-degree forcible sexual abuse and had 15 years on top of the life sentence, plus 5 years. Prosecutors didn't charge him for the child charges since he had already been sentenced to life plus 20 years. Ajayi Ayoola will spend the rest of his life in prison where he belongs, and his ghost will spend 20 years in prison even after his death. I would like to extend my sincere condolences to the Lueck family and the loved ones of Mckenzie Lueck. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and comment. That would be greatly appreciated and help me produce more content. And also, I'm open to criticisms and other cases you would like for me to cover. Until next time, be safe, spread love, and don't be a stranger. My mama told me not to talk to those. It's crime de la crime. Peace.